do
Okay.
also, we can do video as well if you'd like to record the video.
Let's
You look
see.
amazing. You look amazing. So you look amazing.
Let me see. Let me get my background right. Yes. Okay.
Okay. I'm screen recording
Oh,
us right now.
okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, let's do intros. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You are my guru. You are an amazing teacher. You are someone that I just am so inspired by every single day. The things that you have taught me have really permeated every single area of my life, and I use everything that you've taught me every single day, and it helps me so much. And I just appreciate you a lot, and I'm very grateful that you're like willing to talk to us today. um,
Well, I appreciate you appreciating me. I feel like, whatever you're doing, you're going to be very successful in your life because uh, one of the main things for really balanced people is to recognize, and you recognize and you offer gratitude. So, I keep very good company.
yes, definitely. Okay, well, I feel like that's a pretty good like intro. I talk about you all the time on here, so I think that people will know who you are. Um,
Well, they won't know who I am until you mention the business.
Okay, okay. Well, if you guys are just wanting to be aware, right now we're chatting with Professor Sunflower, Sensei Sunflower, Tanya B, DJ Yoga Chick. She has like a billion names. And yes, yes. And that's who we're chatting with.
Okay, yoga on the move. Yes.
Yes, yes. And is there anything that you want to say that people should know about you?
Well, just everything that you said and yoga on the move, and yeah, let's get started.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, I have so many questions. I want to know like so much. But I guess that I would really like to. Well, I know that I would really like to ask you about like okay. Well, oh my gosh. Um, I have too many questions. That's really what it is. What would you like to share?
I tell you what, in times like that where, I'm working with a lot of anxiety and depression. And, everybody's talking about anxiety like, oh, I have this disorder. But really, a lot of us, everybody has anxiety. And when we have anxiety, it short circuits our brain. It literally short circuits our cognitive ability, and it moves from this really powerful frontal brain to the middle of the brain where all of our emotions are. So it's normal to be, kind of sometimes forgetful when we're like doing public speaking or whatever. But I say that to say, that awareness that yoga offers, you can see, oh, I'm not breathing. So if I'm not breathing, my brain doesn't work as efficiently, and then so everybody has anxiety, because anxiety is like this kind of external thing that's coming at you, like I'm speaking in front of everybody.
Okay.
And then there's, anxiety disorders where, anxiety may just come out the blue. You may wake up with it, or it lasts for a long time. It can impede your life. It may come with stuff like OCD, where you have this kind of compulsive disorder or behavior, or you get afraid to go outside. So I just wanted to share with your viewers, if you're just experiencing everyday anxiety, just kind of sit and, pause a moment and just breathe. And when you're ready to speak.
Yeah. You're doing amazing. You are so beautiful. I just want to tell you that. Like you are a sunflower and you got the plane in the background. That is so cool. And your earrings are really gorgeous. I wanted to tell you that as soon as we started talking. I want to let you know as well that like this is a safe space. This space is called Graffiti Affirmations, and it's a safe space for like minds to connect and commune. And we're a global community of people that connect on the point of love and appreciation and authenticity, truly expressing like what's going on with us and knowing that we're all a lot more connected and experiencing the same things than we are not. So that is where you're at, and you are safe here to just go have a good time.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. I have a question. So as you're in the space of like mental health and therapy, how do you go about like I guess like diagnosing people, and do you ever feel that like that giving someone a diagnosis can be like a self-fulfilling prophecy?
Well, first of all, yoga therapists, we do not diagnose, but we do work heavily with the medical profession. So we're like that liaison between the doctor and the patient. Many times people have a condition and they don't have time to speak with their doctor. The nurses are busy. So they go home with this condition and they're given like, okay, here's a prescription, take these pills. So the yoga therapy as a profession, we go into hospitals and the doctors actually recommend yoga therapists. So say someone has cancer, they may recommend me to work with that patient. And what we do is we work with different layers. Like the doctor, he's going to look at the disease and he's going to try to get rid of the disease. He may not really think about the patient so much, but yoga therapists, we work one-on-one with the patient. We work with all sorts of conditions, whether it's physical or mental health. But what we don't do is diagnose anyone. That's not a part of our scope of practice.
Wow.
We take the client where they are, and we work with them using a framework of yoga written by a gentleman named, or maybe even a school of thought named Patanjali. Yoga is very old, so thousands and thousands of years it would get passed down it could be passed down. Maybe people are sitting around a fire. It's passed down from indigenous people. But Patanjali, he's like, let me write this stuff down.
Okay.
So Patanjali gets the credit for yoga. But please, I want your viewers to understand that yoga supersedes, Hindu. It's but yes, Patanjali.
Please tell us like the wholeness of it, because we really want to know.
Oh no, just that he wrote it down probably like around 10,000 years. 2,000 years. Same time like Jesus came along.
Okay.
They actually believe that Jesus may have even studied with Patanjali because he exudes that yogic persona. And in one of my books, it actually talks about that the Christian religion actually had elements of yoga in there, but they took it out, like maybe around the Crusader times. Remember when the Crusaders were coming in, they wanted you to, look up to something, to look up. But when Christianity and yoga were together, it was very powerful because yoga is going to make you aware coming inward, whereas religion is saying, hey, look at me. I'm King James. I'm next to God.
Okay.
When yoga says you don't need that. You have direct access to the divine. So, but for anybody who believe like that, maybe such as Jesus, you're going to get put on a cross. You're going to get nailed on a cross because we don't want you to have that kind of power, You have to relegate your power to another person who then has access to God. So,
I see.
yeah.
They were not feeling the Son of Man. They were like, no.
Exactly. And then they take those words and they change it. So when you do look in the book, you're not interpreting it that way. But yes, we are the Son of Man. We are the Jesuses that we've been waiting for.
Mm.
And, you know, when you appreciate and you value and you have this awareness, I believe it gives you this kind of walking on water ability, because life just looks easy, joyful. It works itself out because you got tools.
That's
But anyway.
beautiful. Yes. Tell us. Yes. um, I have a question. Um, can you go a little bit deeper about like the roots of yoga and where yoga like originates from?
I really, because yoga is so old and so ancient, you know, it's almost like you have to take a whole class. People, when they think of and hear the word yoga, they think of these little small things, but yoga is so huge and it has different schools. There's different schools of yoga. And there's actually a mathematical school. So when I think about the mathematical school, I think of Egypt. I think of how things align mathematically, and the scientists that had to contemplate, you know, how long the earth revolved around the sun and the moon revolved around the earth. So that's a form of yoga too. But it's a whole yoga school. It's a school of math,
Wow.
and it's still yoga. Wow, it's very deep.
That is
But we
really
also
deep.
have a
Yes.
school of like medicine. We call it Ayurveda, and that is so it's a whole school under Sankhya, but it's Ayurveda, like how you eat, how you interact with Mother Earth, the seasons, and then how you're an extension of this Mother Earth if you're in a body, and how you want to interact with her. So I don't really study the other schools so much because, you know, probably have to come back another lifetime, you know, and do that. It's an ongoing education. But the school that I love the most is something called Sankhya, and it's Ayurveda and yoga. And it just kind of helps to inform me, and I help inform other people about you know, easing their suffering, their mental suffering, their physical suffering. You know, it's great to, you know, do things on your own, and sometimes you want to do it your way, but sometimes when you're doing it your way, you really kind of can bump your head. So it's nice that, you know, sages like Patanjali or even one's mother and in the neighborhood, the seniors who've come before us leave us a little game plan of how to be more in right mind and right action.
That is so lovely. I think this is a good time for us to take a break because I need to restart this thing.
Yeah, so you can, you know, but whatever. Yeah,
Yes,
great. Okay.
I got us. I got us. Don't worry.
Okay.
But we're back on, and what I was just saying is that like I'm just so very in awe of you and like grateful to you for doing the work that you're doing because it's a lot, you know, on every single level, and I think that you're really doing it. Like it's really helping so many people, and you're that's how you're my inspiration, because just you existing, just you being as you are and showing up to life, and you know, like creating the things that you do, whether it's just being in the world, you know, everywhere you go you just spread light. Being online, you know, you're spreading so much love on Yoga on the Move on Facebook that you guys will definitely love to be checking out. And yeah, you're just a light. So like you're amazing.
Thank you so much. And it takes one to know one. And that's what I love about yoga, because when I wasn't doing yoga, and when I think of people not having the tools that, of yoga, I wonder how they're even getting along. I can see it's so easy to feel triggered in the world, and yoga helps us. Yoga means awareness. So when you have that awareness and then you have tools, life is a little bit better and sometimes freaking amazing because you got a tool. You have a framework in which to live, and that's what I love about the 8 limb path of yoga. And when I certify teachers or when I'm doing my lifestyle workshops, that's what I'm sharing with them. These tools, and when you use them, you can see, wow, this is better than what I used to have. So, and
Yeah,
I think we all need tools.
definitely. Yes. I was just having I was just having an awareness like yesterday, because I've been going to this little park that's nearby here, and just sitting for like the last few mornings and just sitting down. And what I notice is that like when I'm in the space of like I'm not connected to nature, it's a different mindset where I'm still, because I have yoga and I have tools, I'm still in awareness that like everything is okay and that all is one and that we're connected and that there's nothing to worry about. And then something in me just kind of switches, like flips, when I get back to just sitting with myself, sitting with the tree, sitting with the plant, just being like, I don't know, just being calm. And it's like the yoga that exists inside of me kind of like comes external as well, and I start to experience life better and like just see more reasons to be grateful. It really like changes my whole world. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, because when you get centered, you're looking out of your eyeballs like God is looking out. So when God is looking out and you have that awareness of, like yesterday, me and my son, we went hiking for Mother's Day. And, the park that I love, Sweetwater Creek State Park, giving a little shout out. It's so green and beautiful. It was just so green. And all we saw was this, like, I felt green. I literally felt green. And that's what yoga is. It helps you to kind of merge with whatever you're focusing on. Yes. And when you're able to do that, then your anxiety can decrease because you're focused on just that one thing. And it's simple yet complex. It's simple when of course I need to focus on one thing, but it's complex it takes practice. Mm-hmm. And that's where people struggle, the practice. And that's where I come in to kind of help people along.
That's lovely. Wow. Can you tell us a little bit more about like how you help people along with it?
Well, they'd have to take some training with me, and then sometimes if people are really, really lucky, I may mentor them. I mentor a lot of the younger people, seniors in high school and freshmen in college. That's usually the age group that I mentor. And I have a studio where people will come in the summertime, and I'll take them on different adventures. So the way that I help people is to give them retreats. It's kind of like to go on a pilgrimage, to go someplace else. If I can get them out of their norm, then it's easier for me to guide them. So that's what I do. That's what the business is called, Yoga on the Move. I give anywhere from 1 hour retreats to, day trips, weekend trips, and week-long trips, and put people in different spaces, and do work my magic from there.
Yes, and it's a lot of magic. It's so much magic. I don't know if you like had a chance to like look at the episode that I made on the page about you, and I was talking about you. I was talking about your business and Kazaya and our adventures, and I was just sharing that like I said that I was enjoying, I was enjoying the hell out of my life. Like before we met, I was doing some really cool stuff, and then when we met, like you just shifted. I literally said like you upgraded my whole like world, you made everything that I was already experiencing like a billion times better with the things that you are teaching and the ways that you're going about just living everyday life. And that is like something that just I carry with me like every single day. Like everywhere I go, everything I do is impacted by knowing that I can do it mindfully, knowing that I can, breathe into my existence and show up as my highest self, and I'm not like a victim. I'm a creator, and I'm creating, what I want, and that is really 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 helpful to me. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yes. Well, if any of your viewers are interested in, getting on the mailing list at yogaonthemove.org. No, yeah, yogaonthemove.org. I will work with them. I'm doing right now. I'm actually doing community service with the Maryland University of Integrative Health, and I'm working with people free of charge right now. I just only have about 30 more days, but I'm working with people to help them tap into their inner resilience. And so if any of your viewers need to chat with me, they are welcome to reach out to me. And yeah.
That's really cool because I kind of already told them that they could, so I'm glad that that's okay.
Okay, that's great. I've been so busy. I have had to take a break from the social media and all of this. And it's so funny because even when I take a break from it, it's still a part of my life. Like even before you, I was on a 2-hour Zoom call. And that's what I was talking to them about. I was speaking with other entrepreneurs about how, we entrepreneurs are, just kind of, we sit on powerful dreams. We're just sitting on these powerful dreams, but at the same time, we got back pain. We have sciatica. We're sitting too long. People are sitting anywhere from 8 to 16 hours a day. Everything in this digital age is making us sit. And so we're in a really good time in this digital age, but at the same time, it's like that yin and yang where it's amazing, but it can still cause a lot of anxiety and depression and a pain in the body because it's easy to, lose oneself in all of this amazing technology that we have. It's amazing. And you can still get lost. You can still be sitting too long because you don't have the awareness that the gravity's pulling you down or is hitting your nerves. So that's where yoga comes in again. That's where yoga therapy comes in,
Wow. So. Really, really powerful, really powerful. And like the way that you can like be in awareness of those things and then start to like shift your everyday just daily practices to like be in awareness of how you're moving your body, because it's for me, I think about like people my age, how we're in our 20s, and this is, like the stage of us, like the way that we carry ourselves now is how we continue, and so like being mindful of our bodies, being mindful of our energy and how we express ourselves, and like for me right now, I'm thinking a lot about like turning our emotions into positive things that uplift us, because a lot of us have gone through this like school system of since from being like in elementary school to like now we're here. Maybe some of us are not in school, we go to, now we work, we're just in the world, just working, living. Some of us are in school, and I think that like what I'm noticing, and maybe, and definitely I'm sure you can speak to this more, that I'm noticing that like a lot of us carry these stories with us, and we carry this like, I guess, emotional baggage from like the things that we've experienced. And I think that 20s is a really critical, and just the stage that we're in right now is a really critical time for us to understand, like, how do we want to be? How do we want to process these emotions? How do we want to process these stories? Because now it's just we're just living. We're gonna be living until perfectly until we're like, in our 80s, in our hundreds. So like, what do we want to do with it is kind of like what I'm picking up on right now.
Yeah, and that takes awareness. That takes a lot of awareness. And, you're at an amazing age in the 20s. The 20s are so amazing. And when I look back on the 20s, that's why I mentor your demographics, because if you can have some tools, you can use this time and not waste it. It's some of your most powerful time. I also teach biology. So you got this ATP energy, you got a currency. It's like y'all millionaires right now.
Yes.
But you have so many things coming at you. You're like Kanye West. If you don't watch out, you've got a lot going on that can create anxiety. We've got so much going on. You got so much energy. You can do anything. You can have anything. But if there's holes in the aura, if there's stuff leaking out, you got a whole lot of worry, and you don't have the tools, then it can be really chaotic.
Yeah.
So I always come back to tools. But yes, you're in a wonderful age bracket right now, and
And I think about like, cause like I have a younger sister. I don't. Well, yeah, you know Sabina. So like, I think about how like everything that I'm experiencing, I always think about it as like she's going through it, and she's just at like she's just in a different stage, but she's going through it as well. And so I think about how like, the things that I'm experiencing, like, I don't really know about that. I mean, I just think about her, because I look at her and I see her experiences, and I see like the reflections of like, like the body, when you're on your phone too much, and then you start to feel depressed, and like needing to go outside, like how important that is, because you have to get that, how you tell me how you have to get that sunlight, you have to like commune with nature, you have to like return back to things that are completely separate from the digital world, because right now everything is, we're being drowned in like the digital, and it's cool and all, but like we can't live in that. Like, I think that even it's such a good thing at the same time, because what this whole being so online and having everything be so like digital, what it inspires me to do is to connect more to my physical, and to spend more time understanding like what are the processes of my body, what are these emotions, like what is going on in my human body, because all of this digital stuff, it's just there, it just is what it is, and I don't have to like attach to it. That's what I get from yoga and studying with you and the teachings. I'm gonna pause this and restart. Appreciate them. Okay. we're back. We're back. So yeah, so basically, yeah, I just noticed that in her, and I noticed that in the people around me. I feel like I feel deeply. I feel like I am always thinking about everyone, because I want everyone to be well, and that's really just like I want myself to be well. So I focus on myself, but I don't know. I think that it's just kind of overwhelming when you think about like problems too much. So I try not to think about problems. You can talk more about how you go about that as well.
Yeah, I just want to offer a suggestion that when people who we really care about are coming up into our awareness, and there's like a fear base attached to it or a worry, what I personally like to do is just kind of pray, like kind of sit quiet and envision them well.
Mm.
Because if I keep letting the mind, we call it ruminate,
Okay.
on worry, ruminate on fear, ruminate that something bad's going to happen to them because they don't not using yoga or whatever, they're not doing it right. You know, it's actually pretty easy to look at somebody and see that they're not doing it right, because we can recognize that. We can recognize it more in them than we can see it in ourselves. So the way I've shifted it for myself, um, is to kind of have an awareness that I'm worried about someone. And then I like to sit down and kind of visualize their safety. It's kind of like I'm working with my superpowers over here. Because sometimes you can go to a person and say, hey, I'm worried about you. But they could tell you, mind your business. Or I don't want to hear what you got to say.
Yeah.
So I do my work over here, and I'll let you be doing your thing over here. Now, sometimes I'll ask people, you know, can I share or give you some advice or whatever? And if they say no, fine. And because I really love them, I will sit over here in my sacred space in nature or in my bedroom. And when they come up and I'm worried, I start to visualize their wellness. I'll say something like the same thing I would say to myself: I'm going to find a way, it's going to work itself out. I say that same thing about them because parents, believe it or not, we go through that all the time. If you're a parent, you don't even have a child. You know, so your parents go through that all the time, whether they tell you that or not. We're like held hostage to our children. And I was thinking about this one time. I was thinking, the ancestors used to pray over the village people.
Mm.
And I was thinking, you know, we don't really pray over the village people. We don't pray over our community. So I had this realization about 20 years ago, maybe about 25 years ago, that I need to access what the ancestors used to do.
Mm.
They just sat and prayed over us, and they sent us on our merry way, and they did what they had to do, and everybody weren't having all of this worry going on and this fear base going on. Yeah. So that's what came to me. I hope that
deep.
That worked.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, because the way that I think about it is that everyone has their own path, you know? And I learned this through yoga, that everyone has their own path. Everyone has their own ways that they go about things, ways that they're guided to do things that only they know, because only they exist inside of them. And, you know, and that's just that. And so, like, yeah, like you just gotta give them some good vibes and then let it be what it bees.
And can I share with you what I call it? The thumbs up from the universe. Anybody who's ever trained with me knows I call it these thumbs up, because this is where the magic comes in. And I love that you say, you know, I upgrade, because that's what I do. I upgrade and I bring the magic. Mm. And what I notice is, and as I bring it to others and share the tools that they can use, it also comes to me. So, for example, say I am worried about someone in the community. Let me tell you, after I've prayed over them and let it go, it seems that person or people will come back and say, you know, I had this bright idea. Mm. Or they had a light bulb moment. But the bottom line is that they find their alignment. And it's like when I let go and kind of ask God to show up for me, you know, but I let go of it, I pray over it, I visualize it. The universe shows me how powerful I am, and that it shows up. And I'm telling you, that's the thumbs up from the universe. When when, they talk about, counting your blessings, that's it. You start to count your blessings when you are doing the work, when you are being the change. Yes, you can send out love. Yes, you can pray on their behalf. But sometimes you will actually see people that will remind you, if you're attracted to or notice this kind of negative or whatever the person's doing, then you have aspects of it in yourself, because that's why you can recognize it. Mm-hmm. And it can be really beautiful, because when you have tools like you do, you can say, oh, I recognize that. Oh, that's what that looks like. Because the universe will show you.
Yes.
And it's so cool.
It's so cool.
And then after, with yoga tools, because there's an aspect of yoga called compassion. That's where that compassion comes from, because you see it in yourself. That's why Jesus was so compassionate. It's not because he was just such a righteous person. Mm-hmm. He could see that this is kind of like man's dilemma. So there goes that awareness again. Okay, what was that face about?
Oh, it's like a little bug that's like flying around in here. Hi, okay. What's going on?
Yeah.
Hey, it's just having a good time.
Well, is there anything else? This was so good. I'm really enjoying this. Yeah.
This was really great. Thank you so much for just sharing your time with us and your knowledge, because it is so deep. Like, I pray that you want to come back on the show, that we'll have more chats together, because I just adore you, and I love talking with you always, always, always.
Well, it's back at you. I love to be in spaces, especially with young people such as yourself, who, are using the tools, who see the tools working. I love all of the work that you're doing, whether it's, visual, or you're using audio. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
For you, yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna end this off. Thank you again. Thank you so much, and shout out to all you guys for being here, about a part of the chats. This is some good stuff, so comment. Let us know what you think. Let's keep talking, and go check out Yoga on the Move on Facebook with Tanya Bennett, Tonja Bennett, Bennett.